Not on this one.
No. Okay, that's long enough.
You're not on YouTube. What?
What's shaking, everybody? I don't know where we are right now,
I have a cat.
but we're live somewhere in the world.
Oh, there you are. No, YouTube's just
Yeah, it's just a little slow.
a little bit of a catchy
Wheezy. Got her. Whoa! I
All
got sound
All
and
right.
stuff.
How's it going? Bit of a new thing for us here.
Yes,
We're also on Twitch.
we are.
So I don't know whether to say welcome or if someone should be welcoming us.
I don't know, because we're new to Twitch, so somebody should come and welcome us to Twitch, I think.
I feel like that would be appropriate.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess welcome if you're tuning in.
You know?
To Twitch, because we're gonna give this a solid try.
Yes.
And
probably a couple lives.
I think it'll be good.
I hope it'll be great, actually.
We just want to be there for everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the goal, right? It's to reach as many of you beautiful people and fans as possible.
So welcome YouTube, welcome Twitch. Let's just be a big family. All right. What are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 6.
Wow, what a good show.
Such a good show. Or was it?
Why, is there people complaining again? I got a
I'm not
good idea why people are complaining. And
yeah.
They're meatheads, but
I'm not gonna lie. I may complain a little during this particular broadcast.
Why? Because if it's for certain reasons, for a
because gratuitous cameos.
I know it was a little heavy on the cameos, okay, but I was excited to see one of the two kings.
I love Jack Black. Do I love Jack Black in this show? No, I do not. I don't like Lizzo. I think
you're freaking crazy.
She played an okay part. And then we had Mr. Back to the Future himself.
Great Scott.
Which was again okay, but I don't know. I just didn't feel like it was a necessity to be just dropping cameos.
We're getting right to the.
We really are getting
here.
just.
Normally we wait until the appropriate point in the show.
Yeah, but I'm not going to today because
we're going to get right into the little annoyed. Aren't we?
I was annoyed.
First off, for anybody watching, how did you feel about these guest appearances?
It's a great question.
Can we first off take a step back and make sure that we're letting everybody know that there is going to be spoilers in this?
Spoilers abound.
We're going to do
in our show pretty consistently.
Spoiler alert. Because we're going to spoil some stuff.
Yeah, we definitely are going to spoil.
All right. So if you haven't seen it, go take a watch. Have a watch, I guess.
Don't take someone's watch because
then they won't know what time it is.
That's right. And they'll miss the show.
That's right. 8:00 prompt on Saturdays.
Prompt is a relative. Prompt is a relative term.
A loose term. The viewers can answer this as well as you.
Okay.
Would it have been better to space those appearances out, type deal?
Yes.
I mean, obviously, it wouldn't make sense.
When you think about cameos in Star Wars, though, like they have enough big name characters that they could just pull in cameo. So I don't think they needed these kinds of cameos so much. And I mean, like Daniel Craig did a cameo in one of the Star Wars movies, but you didn't know because he was a stormtrooper. And those are my favorite kind of like celebrity cameos that they do.
Tom Holland's brother was in this episode.
Yes, he was.
Did you know that?
I did.
From looking at him?
No. Because he's just some guy that's
in a costume.
Trying to do his thing, and he's in a costume, and it's all right. Maybe he's just trying to break into acting.
Yeah, maybe.
He's not who do you know who Tom Holland's brother is? No.
Well, he was going to be in a Spider-Man movie.
Really?
He was going to be an extra, but then they cut the scenes out.
An extra.
Yeah. I didn't mind the cameos. It was a bit of a silly episode to begin with.
It was, which was also a little strange. I didn't mind it.
They were just a bunch of sleuths.
Right. It was the detective story was okay. We complain sometimes about filler episodes, and this was a seriously thick filler episode for me. Who is you guys' favorite Star Wars character? Homeless Joe.
That is a good question, but a deep question.
Deep. Revan. Yeah.
You just had to go with someone obscure.
It's not that obscure if you've played like the video games and stuff.
Old
Republic stuff.
It's obscure if you have to play a video game.
Okay, well then then the movies. Are we gonna go with like the movies? Favorite movie character?
Well, I think that's up to
Homeless Joe.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, by the way, Homeless Joe. Great question. It's gonna get deep.
My favorite character is the Curvy Bot. All right.
So if you're just joining the show and you don't know, Curvy Bot was a droid from...
He was less curvy than I remembered.
From Obi-Wan. And Mr. Couch stated that it was the one with the curves. And then...
It sounded more sexy than I intended.
And then when we went back and looked, there was not a lot of curve on the bot. It was very cylindrical.
I wasn't... I often misphrase and use the wrong words for things. Maybe Curvy Bot was the wrong words. Maybe I sexualized this bot a little more than I intended to.
And the bot didn't appreciate it.
All right. I'm telling you, there's some nice looking bots in this.
There is some at the droid bar.
The droids. Mm-hmm. Also, we'll get back to our little argument here.
Okay.
And I didn't mean to not take that comment seriously. I'm seriously in the back of my mind thinking about who I do consider my favorite character.
If you've ever read any of the Darth Vader comics and stuff like that, actually too, Queen Amidala's handmaiden before her death was Sabe, and Sabe, or whatever we decide, games or movies or whatever. So I can go with Revan then, jerk. But Sabe is a great character too.
Again, a little bit obscure.
That's probably obscure too, but
so there's another question that's arisen.
What is the question?
And that is what do we guys something?
Excuse me?
Yeah, you read the comment because
I did. Whatever you guys decide, movies or games. If somebody would
bring the comment up, that'd be
awesome. Did read it actually. I said it out loud. Sorry. But in case you're on a different platform and you didn't get to see the comment, here's the comment.
So let's go with movie characters,
okay.
Because I've not ventured into the games as much as you.
Right.
Right. I feel like most people are going to be able to really kind of understand the movies more than the games. Okay. Let's stick with the games.
Okay.
If you had to pick a character from the movies, who would it be?
From the movies. Are you still thinking about it?
I'm closing in on is it Black Corinthian? No.
Black Corinthian.
Corinthian or whatever.
Leather.
You know who I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
From Boba Fett.
Yes.
And the comics.
Okay.
The Wookiee.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I cannot say his name, so it shouldn't be my favorite.
It's a hard name.
Okay. I really enjoy that Wookiee.
Yes, he's a great Wookiee.
He's great in the comic books too.
Yes.
So, see that's where I kind of understand the comics a little bit.
Yeah.
So
that's a good one.
I think
I can't even say it.
Crethansian. I don't.
Kirsten?
Yeah. But, great character, and I really enjoyed.
Yeah, he's a good character. He's solid.
I'm gonna say that for right now.
I'm gonna have to dip into the droid pool, and I definitely love the personality and everything behind R2D2, and the fact that he's in
everything, even
He's
if it's just for a second.
Yeah, he's like, hey, but
As far as droids go, he's got to be
he's the most badass droid there is.
the top droid, right?
He's got a wicked kill count.
So speaking of other droids, near the like further on in this episode,
yeah,
we get the droids in the bar. A lot of cool droids there.
There are a ton of cool droids there.
A lot of droids that are kind of like throwbacks.
Yep.
Right.
And I didn't make, you know how, because our board is getting rather full when I'm putting in like alien names and like character names and stuff. So I didn't put all of the droid models and names
stuff.
And things in there, but yeah, there was a
lot
of
We'll get back to that scene in a little bit, because there is a couple of things that are cool about that scene. But when we're talking about droids too, do these droids not look badass in black?
Yeah. So the Imperial droids.
Yeah,
are so cool looking. Like, they look menacing right away.
Like, does an R unit not look just kick ass?
Oh yeah.
In like, black. What a cool looking droid.
Cara Dune is our producer's favorite character, and we'll never see her again. So that's sad, but she was a wicked cool character when she was on.
And I'm going to assume that's from Andor.
No.
Oh no, is that from?
That's from Mando. She was the shock.
Oh no, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. No, so, yeah. I won't see her again.
No, but that was one of those political outside of the show stuff.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. It happens. Cancel culture and all that.
Let's quickly get back to what we were talking about before, which is the
Mandalorian.
Do you ever just want to freaking drop kick someone?
Yeah. Is it me?
All right. We were talking about the guest appearances on this.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't feel like it took away too much from it. I love Jack Black.
I do too.
Okay.
But even his name in this was just kind of like, it was, I think his name in this was too Jack Black. You know what I mean?
Everything he does is too Jack Black.
People are walking around. He's no longer in the military. So is he just Mr. Bombardier? Like, I don't like Captain Bombardier.
I don't think you can take these characters too seriously.
Well, that's too on the nose.
All right. And as far as, so if you have to accept that these characters are here and these actors are doing this. Okay.
Actors. Lizzo's, is this her like first acting gig?
Yeah, I know. How do you feel she did for?
I think she did the better portion of that.
I don't believe so. I don't think so.
I thought she was a reasonable character. And you know what's funny is that I would have barely known, because I'm not a Lizzo fan. Like, there's a couple of jams that I don't mind or whatever, but
I wouldn't recognize her.
I wouldn't. I don't think I would have really recognized her.
I had to look it up.
Yeah.
And I was like, did you? I was like, is that? And then I had to look it up.
So Teresa called it out.
I was right, but I still had to confirm. I had to look it up. Well, here's the thing: is I love Jack Black and everything.
Who's your favorite Jedi?
Done. Favorite Jedi?
Plo Koon.
Excuse yourself. All right.
He's the dude with the mask thing.
But a favorite Jedi. See, I can't go too deep because I don't know as much about the Star Wars universe as you.
Jedi. We'll go Jedi or Sith. I think is probably dope.
I don't know if you should include Sith. I think Sith, no, there's not as many Siths. You can't really make Sith a category, can you?
No, yeah, you could. Asajj Ventress would probably, if we were gonna go there, she's a great character. Seen through the Clone Wars a lot.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I still need to catch up on the Clone Wars, right? So
it's a great character, and like the depth of lore behind that character too is amazing. She'd be like the same. She's from the same planet as like Darth Maul and Savage Opress and stuff like that.
I like Darth Maul.
Darth Maul's
like, I think Darth Maul is a great character, and I've seen tidbits of him in Clone Wars, and
him in Clone Wars is amazing, and him in Rebels is amazing.
Yeah.
Like his character, because in the movies you don't get much of his story. He just kind of shows up,
Yeah.
fights a couple of times, says nothing,
And he kind of
then
doesn't get that character doesn't get the love it deserves until you see the animated stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think, like, I feel like in the Mandalorian here, we have to have some name drop for Darth Maul at some point.
We do, yeah,
because of how that story intertwines and meshes.
Which this episode kind of wasted a bit of time.
It really did,
right? Because those bits that they need to be dropping should have been starting like now.
Oh, for sure. We're
Right?
almost like, what is there, 8?
So what are we? Couple episodes till we're done. This,
Yeah.
Right.
Like, it's a lot. There's a lot that they could have done with this episode that they didn't really push through with. Like tying your story together and really building for that finale.
Now that I think about it more, I think they really could have used this time better.
Yeah.
Right.
As a fun, campy episode, yeah, it was enjoyable, but it was filler, and it didn't push the story.
Now, that being said, there are some things I did like.
Okay. Well, I did too.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say I didn't. I like retro throwback stuff.
There is some stuff, like we kind of just went all over the place here. But is there anything that you really need to mention before? Like, I felt going back to the actors, Jack Black is a very out there actor.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Yeah.
And it's very hard for a new actor to not sound a little flat next to him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't think that his character was so outrageous that it doesn't fit in the Star Wars universe. Like, you see similar type characters all over the place. Right? I think that you're saying, hey, this is Jack Black. He doesn't. It's too big. Right?
Yeah.
He should be out there finding the pick.
He should be doing, I don't know. Yeah, maybe something more
like
interesting.
You know?
Or I don't know. If we saw him in another light, in another space, because he's supposed to be an ex-Imperial even. Mm-hmm. You see that character Jack Black is playing as an Imperial officer, as a captain in the Imperial Army.
His attitude would have had to have been much different.
You'd think.
Right?
Right?
So Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah.
All right.
Do we want to, like, kick back and actually
launch
this show properly?
Do you want to get there?
So in case you missed it, we're supposed to be talking about the Mandalorian, and we did get off topic, and that's great because that was some good convo. I enjoyed it. But start this off on a Quarren freight ship. What is a Quarren, you might ask? If you don't know much about Star Wars,
that's
the tentacly face people,
squid faces.
So I think last episode, when we had talked about it, I had mentioned that the Quarren and the Mon Calamari were enemies during the wars, and I was correct. I kind of went back and self-checked.
But then they found some sort of peace.
They found
a common ground.
A common ground where they're not trying to kill each other. Which is kind of what so this opens up, and it's this forbidden love story, real Romeo and Juliet jam that they got going on between a Quarren and a Mon Calamari.
Hot stuff.
Yeah. The Imperial Star Cruisers in pursuit. So you're kind of wondering, I enjoyed that part because it kind of left me wondering, like, who is pursuing these guys?
Like, to be fair, the Mandalorian parts of this episode were good.
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, the portions of like story building, I guess.
They were good pieces. Yeah. They were just far and few between.
Right.
Right. So are you slowly trying to? That's like trying to tiptoe up the stairs at after midnight when your parents are sleeping.
After midnight. Yeah.
the Imperial ship comes in,
Mhm.
but there's no Imperials on the ship.
No, and it did fool me, I guess.
And it was intended to.
Yeah, and I mean, we could have thought back and went, "Oh yeah, that's right, Mandalorians took Moff Gideon's ship," but I didn't. It got me.
It got you good.
It did. But even so, and I think this kind of scene was built around showing the difference between these Mandalorians that are out there just murking it up and doing their thing, and the Children of the Watch.
Yeah, which we knew that there were Mandalorians murking it up.
Oh, that's their main jam.
Okay.
Like that's how they roll.
And that's what they're here for. They're here to bring back he's a prince.
Yes, he's a Mon calamari royalty.
Sounds delicious.
Mm-hmm.
You've ever had
Tasty.
calamari?
I have not,
It's good
because
stuff.
I don't want to eat a spongy tentacle. It's not
Me walkie deaky doc.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's as emotional as it can get with fish people
And even
sucking
that,
on
like,
each other's faces.
it was interesting and silly, like right off the hop, right?
Yeah, it really set a tone for the show
Yeah.
right off the bat, right?
Like even when her tentacles like reached out when they were having their parting moment and caressed his face.
That
his
was I feel
fish
like
face.
that was the equivalent of doing one of these when somebody's like
I saw you starting to reach for me, and then I was like, is he
like I just
is he gonna go
you
for
get
it?
what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
Like it's definitely a
This isn't the end. We'll see each other again.
yeah. But the main point of this is to punch your mic.
Yeah.
The main point of this is to show the mercenary
Side of the
Mandalorians, right?
Yeah.
It really didn't matter what scene we got there,
No.
as
No.
long as we were showing that we had Mandalores for hire.
Yes.
All right.
And that they'll just take whatever job, right? Like
that's
this
not a
wasn't a
book title-
badass.
If that's not a book title,
Mandalorians for hire.
yeah,
Yeah, I like it. Should be. So that was Harry Holland was the Mon calamari.
Yeah.
Which was I thought that was I found out after when I was like doing my notes.
I was
and
doing
stuff,
research
and I was like,
and I found that out too.
And
then, I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
You know?
Captain Shuggoth was the Corrin. I wonder if we'll see her again in something, maybe just as like a behind the scenes thing or a quick
I don't care.
bit.
Either way.
I just like the Corrin. They're kind of cool.
Either way.
Tentacle face. I'm a big anime fan, so I love tentacles.
You're disgusting.
That's not. I'm kidding.
You're disgusting.
Or am I?
You disgust me. We're currently looking for a new co-host.
Put your hand down.
You barely
Producer.
produce. What do I need you to do?
Oh, don't say that. We're on right now. She could kill the whole show. I love what you do over there. I like your whole
we kid
aura.
We kid. Then we move on to kind of the goofy part of the
more goofy than
what's
fish
necessary.
People touching each other in a loving caress. Yes.
I'd like you to repeat that.
Goofier than two fish people touching each other in a loving caress.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what man could do that is Jack Black.
Yes,
all right.
he can.
The only person on the planet that can be more goofy than that.
So we're kicking over to Placer 15 now.
Yes.
Which is where the Mandos, we find out a bit, are camping out.
Yeah, they're camping out there, and they're kind of mercenaries for hire for this place, right?
Yeah, they're helping them out.
Kind of a hired army.
Yeah.
Because they are a... Well, what would you call what their place is? They don't have a normal government there.
Well, yeah. So they're outside of the like the
reach of the Republic.
The Republic.
Yeah.
Right. The New Republic. They're not in the integrated systems or whatever.
So they're a like a they have a like a what is it
They have their own little monarchy.
like a democracy type deal,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Voted in.
So yeah, those two were voted in.
Yeah.
All
But it's
right.
like, I think the campiness of the society itself lent well to those characters as they were.
You definitely get the feel that as a society they're a little bit off hinged.
Well, they can't even do any, like, they don't work, right?
Yeah, they're very much like I haven't seen the movie, but I have seen a reference to it, like Wall-E, the movie Wall-E.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a great reference.
And I
Actually.
haven't seen it, but I saw I
You haven't
seen a
seen
reference to
Wall-E?
it. I haven't seen Wall-E.
Wow.
Okay.
Hey, Teresa.
Wow.
Thanks for joining us.
But these people are completely dependent on the droids.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Okay.
They'd have to work if they didn't have the droids.
Right. Now, this is a dilemma that society would fall into over and over again if we had freaking iRobots.
Yeah.
It would happen. We wouldn't do anything.
Right.
We would have robots do everything.
Yeah, we're like, oh, robots can do the stuff.
Yeah.
But
why would I lift my finger if I can get a robot to go get me my soda?
yeah.
Right?
You can have like even your soda. That's really Wall-E. Like, because in those people were just like obese lumps stuck in like floaty chairs.
Yeah. So these people all sitting around a table drinking fluid from some weird animal above them.
Yeah. Delicious animal fluids.
From
I loved
tubes.
So we had like a really cool like just bunch of people sitting at that table too. Like, well, race wise, I thought it was.
I just realized why they had Jack Black in this.
Why?
Because this place has the tube technology.
Oh my god. Yeah. So there was.
That's a Jack Black deep cut.
So they get kind of hijacked, kidnapped, basically. And I was thinking like it was going to be a lot worse than it was, because when they land on the planet, like they're forced to go places. And with the Imperial droids out front, which I think was the purpose of that, was
this planet
they were
made
getting
me
captured.
Feel like it was a much cleaner Fifth Element style planet.
Yeah, I would feel that.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, with like the high society kind of people.
And like
folks.
the tube technology,
the tube technology,
and just the way that the person on the intercom was speaking, and stuff like that. Like it was a very like similar society to that, where things were regulated in a certain way and stuff like that. Like they didn't give them a choice. They hijacked the ship.
Yeah. Like you're going and doing what we want you to do.
They suggested, hey, we need to go talk to the other Mandalorians.
And they're like, nope.
Everything that they had done was decided for them from the second they had gotten there. Right. Even to the point of being able to keep their weapons.
Yeah.
Like they were pretty much told that they were allowed to over other people.
Because their like religion or their tradition is weaponry, which was cool. I love the dinner. The dinner scene was great for me. Did you notice there was like Sula stands and stuff like sitting at the table too, which is kind of a deep cut jam, I guess.
What's that again?
They're so, you know, in the original
learn me.
The original trilogy. Do you remember the original trilogy at all?
Those were the first ones.
Yes.
That came out.
Yes. 4, 5, and 6.
I'm not a complete idiot.
So in 6,
like half an idiot.
So in 6, there was like Han Solo and everybody had gone down to the planet with the Ewoks, or the moon. And then it was Lando Calrissian that was flying the Millennium Falcon, right? And his co-pilot was a Sula Stans.
Okay.
So it's the flappy face guys.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You know me though. I don't see race.
Right. Can't see the flappy face, guys.
No, I don't know the name of, like, forgive me, I don't know the name of
Nien Noom was
these,
the
like, the
that was the
different
guy.
races. Okay, there's a vast amount of races in these,
There is a lot.
and I can barely remember people I know's names. So
That's fair.
this is tough for me. So
Yeah.
I like, forgive me.
That's okay.
Oh, great
okay.
one, Baron Grimm.
It's okay. It's the Battle of Endor, man.
All right.
Flappy face guy and Lando Calrissian.
Okay, I do know who you're
blew
talking
up the
about.
second Death Star.
I do know who you're talking
He
about.
was like,
That's
that's that guy.
That's definitely a great impression.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
I don't know why they don't get you to just stand in on some of these characters.
I probably should be
All
on
right,
Star
Disney?
Wars. Call me.
If you're watching,
Call me.
you know.
I thought it was a little weird too and I guess it was a thing to like Lizzo's character that she just like called Grogu over and offered him food and he just jumped for it. Like he just went for it.
Oh yeah, but I feel like Grogu's relationship with food.
Yeah, that probably didn't help. She was like, "Hey, little fish thing."
I think Grogu would have jumped for just about any food.
This is Darth Vader sitting there and he's like,
Yeah, he's like, "Hey,
you want this?"
He's about to, like, lightsaber it up. Little dangle of a little fish.
That's fair.
Fight's over at that point.
Could have happened.
All right. I know it's jumping further in.
We're gonna just deep dive again.
But
Grogu tries to eat everything. Yeah,
it's because of Grogu, and if we're being clear, Grogu doesn't have a lot of screen time in this.
No.
Right. So I'm gonna get this right out of the way.
Okay.
There was absolutely no reason to knight him.
No, there wasn't. End of the episode, just dropping this knighthood. What was the knighthood? The Ancient Order of Independent Regencies? I don't have any idea what that is, first of all.
I'm just going to say, on this planet,
yeah,
and in this society, everyone's a knight.
I feel like that's probably accurate.
Everyone there has been knighted at that point because Grogu did nothing. He helped her cheat.
Yes, he helped her cheat at some sort of ball game.
He helped her cheat at that game from the El Dorado.
You don't know what he like. Maybe if we would have cut back and he would have actually got some story time. Maybe he did some great shit while he was off screen.
Maybe he had
you don't know what
adventure
he did
of his own.
Yeah,
and, saved the whole planet or something like that. Who knows? So my apologies to Grogu.
That's right.
Because I'm jumping the gun and I'm assuming
just forming conclusions
that he didn't deserve that.
Yeah,
but,
he's a knight now.
So what is he not going to be by the end of this? He's going to be like a knight Jedi or a Jedi knight.
He's a Jedi knight.
Mandalore, something else.
Well, he'll be a Mandalorian.
Ninja.
Not a foundling. He'll be a super being. He's basically just going to God status pretty quickly.
He's so far. I heard next episode, he's turning Super Saiyan.
What?
Yeah.
He doesn't have any hair. Like, how's that going to work? It's weird.
He does. He has little fuzzies.
Okay. That's good. I like it.
Anyway, that's about the extent of Grogu in this episode.
Really is, yeah. They kind of kick over. We get to Commissioner Hellgate, which I thought was probably the best cameo character.
It was the better, and I was actually a little excited to see him because he's great in just about everything. I mean, it's kind of like nostalgia too.
Look at this. People just using this platform comment section as their own. Now I have to say goodnight to my daughter. Good night, Raven. I love you.
Yeah,
it's fine. We're not doing a show or anything.
You know what? There is never a wrong time to be a good father.
That's right. And the time is right now. I'll you know what? If she needs it, I'll sing her song right now.
Why don't you go right ahead?
No, it's okay. Long intro. Does anybody even want to see that? Probably.
It's fine. We'll carry on.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, the Hellgate I thought was a reasonably good character. I thought it was interesting. He was still a little wacky, like very Back to the Futurist, kind of a
The
little
problem
wackier than
with Lloyd
yeah.
is that he will always be Doc.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? Like for any of the people that are watching that show or this show, sorry, and don't know who he is from those, it would be a totally different experience than it is for me,
I guess so.
right?
Because like first off, like what are the two biggest experiences that you've had with um Christopher Lloyd?
What's just Back to the Future? I don't even know that I've.
Are you kidding me?
What's the other one?
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
You're right. You know what? I don't know that I've ever made the connection that he was the big bad in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Does it blow your mind
It
now?
does blow my mind right now.
Because
Oh
that's
my
that's
god.
an iconic role for me.
And those are like all of that's like, those 80s,
Very
90s, early 90s jams.
over the top
Yes.
acting.
And so for us, that's nostalgia, right? But for people watching this right now, probably not so much.
No, there's a good chance, and it's definitely a different feeling for somebody who grew up watching those stuff. I was a huge Back to the Future fan.
Yeah,
Still
Back to the
am.
Future is great.
Right?
Amazing. If you've never seen it and you're one of these younger generation people
Yeah, like
and
we
you're
could
into that retro movies and stuff like that, you got to check out Back to the Future.
we could have
And
a Back to the
Who Framed
Future.
Roger Rabbit is
Yeah, it's
an
they're
amazing,
iconic movies.
iconic
Right?
movies.
Like I get Back to the Future is something that we could have whole discussions about.
Although I feel like maybe
So-
they would try and cancel Roger Rabbit, but
Yeah,
maybe don't watch that one if that's how
yeah.
you
Maybe they
how you're
tone
rolling.
Jessica down a bit.
Yeah, booby trap.
Makes me giggle.
Ah,
Anyway. But I did enjoy his performance nonetheless.
yeah, he was a reasonable character.
Yeah.
Plus, he was the one who got to drop like the old school stuff, like more talk about the battle droids, more talk about Count Dooku, which I thought was a wicked, awesome name drop.
And he was even going to refer to other characters before he got zapped.
Yeah. So he was like, he's a loyal separatist from the Clone Wars, right? So it was a cool. His character had the depth and the things that I want in my Star Wars character.
Yeah.
Not Captain Bombardier.
I just still enjoyed it. Like you have to get over things, and it was a little campy, and those were a little childish and stuff like that. But I'm okay with it. I'm less okay with them just wasting time.
Yeah.
Because there's
especially
a lot,
when there's so much.
Because there's a lot that they need to drop.
Yeah.
And
I don't want it to feel rushed. Like Boba Fett's story by the last bit there felt rushed because they wasted 2 episodes
on other characters.
Not wasted, like
No,
it was solid story building for the Mandalorian, but wasted
it wasn't
episodes
for Boba Fett.
Yeah. So everything felt rushed by the end, and I didn't. That annoyed me, and I don't want them to do the same thing.
And that seems to be a trope.
Yeah.
In like a lot of these shows, right? Like we've had recent shows where we feel like they could have spent more time on things which would have improved the later part of the show, right?
Absolutely. We get down to the detectiving, because Hellgate sends them on the mission.
Which was not unenjoyable.
No, I enjoy a good like weird buddy comedy, because I loved Falcon and the Winter Soldier and stuff like that, which felt like those buddy comedies from back in the day, and that's kind of where this led.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't. Again, we can go off on how it wasn't a useful episode or like a good use of time, but
it was
for what it was.
It was fun. Again,
and we get to see Ugnaughts, which is cool because I loved Queel from one of the other episodes or the other seasons. You remember Queel?
Yep.
The Ugnaught.
And his development through that, and it was kind of cool how he was able to use reason and respect almost.
And you know what was interesting to me about those interactions too was how how it's almost like Ugnaughts and the Children of the Watch kind of travel that same line of speech and the way that they think. And
It's definitely,
yeah,
definitely. I get that a lot. They're very cocky
the I have spoken.
things,
Yeah, they are. They're
you know.
proud,
Well, and
super
that's the thing
proud.
is that Din appealed to that
Yeah,
rather than offending them like Din like or like Bo
yeah. She was
first
like,
did.
"Your work's all fucked up," and
Well, they
Din
pride
was like,
themselves on work.
"Yeah," and Din was like, "We need to know what's going on," kind of thing. So
So it was kind of a cool development there.
yeah,
And then like through this whole thing, you kind of get the sense that Din is more and more okay with droids. Until this point, he's back to this
yeah,
is why we don't work with droids,
yeah,
right? To the point where my one of my favorite parts is when he's iRoboting them,
yeah. On the docks, I love that.
right? Just like in iRobot, where he's testing
Trying to,
the droids,
yeah,
and he's kicking them and he's making them fall and stuff. And when you get to the point where one runs,
yes.
have we ever seen one of these battle droids act like this before?
In live action,
Yes.
I don't even know.
Like
I can't even think in like the animated where I would have seen them run like that.
it's very much running in a more humanoid manner.
Yeah.
Whenever I remember them, they're always very soldier-like,
Yes.
lined up,
Yes.
making precise movements.
Yeah.
And this thing is throwing things and dodging things and tripping over stuff, and it has very human-like movements.
Yeah. And I enjoyed the movements. So that's a B2 battle droid, or and where the other ones, the ones with the long faces, are B1 battle.
The
droid.
Rogers?
Yeah, the Roger. Which are also known, well, the B2s are also known as super battle droids.
Yeah.
Because they were like the elite troopers, right? Like, but
they're always like, whenever they show up, it's like business time.
yeah. Yeah.
And the only thing that really gives you the feeling of more threat are the rollers.
Yeah, droidicas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like they're like the second line.
Yeah.
And then those rollers are like
that's the heavy boys.
Shit's hit the fan.
That's like the Paz Vizsla.
Yeah.
When Paz Vizsla drops in, you know shit's about to get real. Just like when the rollers roll in.
Yeah, it's gonna go down.
Yeah.
Right.
But the chase was good. And I wanted to mention the chase because there's been some poor chases in the Star Wars universe of late.
Yeah.
We had the bad Boba Fett chase.
The Boba Fett chase was one of the worst chases.
Yeah, it was just felt awkward. It wasn't an enjoyable chase. And then we had the Leia chase, where grown men couldn't catch the small child.
Yeah.
Which
okay, so the small child one may have been worse.
It was pretty bad.
Where the hoodlums and thugs could not catch a child,
just fully inept,
comically hitting trees,
yeah,
and stuff like that. Like all you needed was that, or the old school, black and white movie.
Yeah, they were pretty awful. So
pretty
this
terrible.
chase,
so this chase is a step above.
Yes, well above. Actually, I enjoyed the chase. I was like, oh, look at it. He's throwing stuff, jumping
even
around.
to the point where you can see distinct differences between Din and Bo-Katan's method.
Yeah.
Right? Like her using her jetpack quite a bit more.
Yep.
And him kind of more diving and stuff like that. She's less cautious about the people around her than he is.
When she's just in general more agile. And we talk about that, just in the hand-to-hand combat styles even. Yeah. She has more agility. She's not as clunky as Din is. So
not to say Din didn't do a fantastic job taking this thing down, because he did the classic, go in a building, jump out the window thing.
Yeah. That was dope. It was good.
And took him down. She takes him down from the back, and then you get the little
pew pew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get the little police
Yeah.
patrol bots.
Yeah, they were cute.
So they were interesting. I like those little...
And none of them have weaponry because
No.
it's a pacifist place.
Yeah.
Because Jack Black's character, Captain Bombardier, is an ex-Imperial, so they can't have a military.
Yeah. Those little scamps, though, they're just doing their job.
Yeah, just scanning stuff and blocking off a crime scene. It was
You
great.
know, what more can you ask from a little guy like that?
But yeah, it was a fun, like, detective piece. They end up at the droid bar.
It was one of the better scenes.
Yeah.
So they catch the guy.
Droid bar was good. And
the
I liked...
droid bar, yeah.
I don't know if you caught, like, that throwback piece around how awkward it was for them to walk into a droid bar, which was kind of like the same as when the droids walked into the cantina on Tatooine in episode 4.
Yep.
And the
'Cause I know-
bartender gives them the we don't serve their kind here kind of thing, and it was kind of no.
Yeah, something I
Anyway.
liked about this is I liked kind of hearing how they felt,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
kind of like humanize them a little bit, and how they did fear that, you know, they could be replaced. Like
Yeah.
some of them are older models,
yeah. Well, they're just junk. Well, even like
junk bots.
they're junk bots. Like some of those guys are coming back from like the Clone Wars, and then you're getting, you know, these Imperial repurposed bots now, so they're newer and better.
It's tough
and-
being an old model.
Can we just skip back really quick to when they landed, and it was like, like it looked like
boy.
C-3PO and R2-D2, but black.
Yeah,
It was good. I like that. It was cute.
I did
Nice
notice.
touch. Nice touch.
Thanks for
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm. I just thought about it.
Yeah, so we find out that at this bar,
yeah,
they're drinking. What are they drinking?
I can't remember
This
what they call
whatever
it,
it is
but it's a new.
It lubes them up.
Yeah, it's a nice fluid.
All right.
And it reprograms them, like, and makes sure that their programming is running properly accordingly.
Yeah, which is key to what's happening with the
Mhm.
rogue bots,
Rogue bots.
the rogue droids. Seems like they're all drinking the
Same Kool-Aid.
Yeah, they're all drinking the same Kool-Aid.
Yes.
The messed up martini.
Yeah.
Which has, as we find out when they go to test the bot, which weirdly they have in these drawers.
Yeah, very strangely morgue-like.
Yeah,
Like, I was thinking like junk pile,
like a
jam,
junk yard type deal, like
right?
the movie Robots.
Yeah, or most other Star Wars where you see like just the kind of assembly line that's going into the
or
the furnace or whatever,
where they'd be repurposing it or something like,
or like a Jawa transport where it's just like bots laying all over in different states of disrepair.
just anything else.
Yeah, but not a morgue. I didn't expect a
just
droid morgue.
Didn't really get it.
No. It was good though.
Yeah. So they find out that there's nanobots in the juice.
Yeah. I love the fact that it infected the little like nurse bot.
The nurse bot, yeah. And even what they were saying is they said something like, has it been affected? And then it starts shooting.
Yeah.
I think it's been affected.
Yeah, right there.
All right.
And that thing's dangerous. Like it's splitting things in half with those lasers it's got, lightsabery style, swinging them around.
And then the only thing that can stop it is a dark saber.
Yeah, that's right.
Right, wielded very poorly by Din.
Still looks very heavy on him, doesn't it?
It does. So they find out, and they also find out how who it is, which is
Hellgate.
Hellgate, right? A little bit of a fun fact.
Okay.
So a lot of people take the signs and a lot of things that are written in this, and they decode them.
Yeah.
Right. So at the very end, when Hellgate's picture comes up,
yeah,
the producers put in there, this means nothing. And then it says something along the lines of like decode this type deal or yada yada. So it's literally a troll.
Nice.
They're literally trolling these
They
people.
rickrolled them.
Yeah,
That's what they should have wrote.
they
Rickroll.
them. That's great. Yeah, they're literally trolling these people who are like
That's
going
cool.
so deep that they're decoding all the stuff, which is fine with me because
I think it's cool.
I'm not talented enough to do it, so I like to hear that stuff, right? But I think it is funny when a developer or like a director puts these things in there and has a little fun with it, right?
I liked it.
Because that sort of fun doesn't affect anything.
No.
Doesn't affect story, doesn't affect the mood, it doesn't affect anything.
No. It's just for fun.
Right?
Funsies.
So it's
That's
actually
a good Easter egg. That's
a little bit
Easter
it's
egg.
an Easter egg and it's actually appreciated.
Yeah,
right?
I enjoy that. Yeah, so that's like it pretty much brings us right back to they get the key to the city piece, and
well,
then,
they get the Keyblade.
Yeah, that's a massive key.
Okay.
Although if you have
the
ever seen
locks?
somebody get like the key to the city in like Toronto or New York or whatever, it's always this like weirdly oversized,
like there's
ridiculous
some big lock
key.
somewhere that
I'm
needs
weird.
to be
What am I opening?
like,
and what do you do with that? You carry it around and just be like, oh, I want a free
so
meal.
Important that it needs a lock that big.
It's huge.
Yeah, so they get the Keyblade.
And knighted. Again, I just wanted to restate the ancient order of independent regencies.
So they only get the Keyblade because they figured out the problem. They go back to
Lizzo.
No, they go to
Hellgate.
Yeah. And they do their whole arresting thing.
Oh yeah.
He threatens to shut down all the bots.
Shut her all down.
Right? And then he starts rambling on and Bo hits him with like some gigawatts.
Yeah, gigawatts.
And
very fitting. Very fitting.
Yeah, very fitting.
Wow. Yeah, it was like I enjoyed the Count Dooku name drop, and this whole thing was like a Clone Wars kind of throwback piece because it had the droids.
Yeah.
It had talk of Count Dooku. It had talk of the Separatists, and I enjoy those things. Just again, I don't need it all packed into one chunk of an episode that could have better.
And I will have to agree with you. Like when they get back, and they've brought him forward, and then Jack Black's character just kind of slaps them on the wrist a little, and it's very much a joke.
Yeah.
Right. It's
well, they don't even treat their criminals like that. Criminals, really.
That scene was reminiscent of like a Scooby-Doo reveal.
Yeah. Oh.
You know what I mean?
It's Captain or Commander. What is he?
Hellcat.
Hellgate. I just can't remember what his commissioner.
Something along that line.
I don't know.
Doesn't even matter.
No. Commissioner Gordon.
I knew you were gonna say that. But yeah, it's very campy, like a Scooby-Doo reveal. Like, you know, oh no.
Like, so the Mandalorian.
You're upset.
I am, because
I can see it in your eyes.
It's got like a deep samurai style or like gritty Western style that I've always enjoyed. I
can relate more to a Western style.
So that's what I want from this show. That's why I love the show through the first 2 seasons, right? Mm-hmm. Like, is because it had that gritty Western kind of old Western style show happening.
Yeah.
And then we get this episode, which is so far removed from why I love the show so much that it irritates me a bit.
It was a weaker episode in that manner because of that campiness. Yeah. Right.
And if the show was built around campiness and that's kind of what you were going for, is like the campy side of Star Wars, then I'd be more okay with it, because that's what you're building and that's what you're doing, and I'm cool with that.
So really the only portion of this that really felt like a Mandalorian episode is what comes next.
Yeah. We get to the Mando camp.
Because they've handed in their quest and they're allowed to move on. And find the other Mandalorians.
Yeah. It was like a cheesy side quest.
It was a side quest.
Yeah.
It was if you were playing a video game, this is what you would have to do to get to the main objective.
Yeah. And you don't even have to do this side quest. I feel like you could have just
You
said,
could have
no,
just skipped it.
no, I'm not doing this one.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that.
Like, what were they going to do about it if they had just said, hey, guess what? We're just going to go.
Yeah. Nah. But I don't know.
Other than the fact that their technology seems
Well, it was substantial enough
to keep them.
Yeah.
Right? So, regardless.
But if you threaten to bust a cap, what are they going to do about it?
What are you going to do? If he pulls out his blaster.
He doesn't have a blaster.
Doesn't he have a blaster?
I don't think he does. I don't think he's allowed. He's an ex-Imperial.
No. I meant if Din.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean.
If Din had just been like, okay, well, just do what I say.
Or I'm going to bust a cap up in her.
What are you going to do about it?
Nothing. They're not going to do anything. They're not going to do anything.
Yeah, so we've gone on. We're going to continue our main quest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Main storyline. And this is where it actually gets good. Yes.
For a few minutes.
Yeah. Axe Woves, which is just an amazing name, by the way.
Oh, yeah. He's actually a good character, too.
He is a good character. And Cosca Reeves is the other Mandalorian.
Costco Reeves.
Cosca?
That sounds like...
Not Costco.
That sounds like a Walmart brand Keanu Reeves type deal.
Yeah. It's Cosca Reeves.
It's Costco Reeves.
Well, no, it's his sister.
All right.
It's not actually, but...
Costco Reeves. That's
the girl with the headband. The other Mando.
Yep.
Yeah. Both great characters. I love. Again, we're into Mandalorian territory, so I'm just gonna.
That's
be all aglow.
That's the juice.
Yeah.
All right.
What I wrote on my notes up there is because I like Yu-Gi-Oh. Is duel because that's what we get.
I think you could have put some more enthusiasm into that.
Sorry. What I wrote was...
need you to move your mic back.
I'm gonna... Duel is what we get in this next piece. And I was super excited about it because we get to see how much of a badass Bo-Katan is.
Yeah.
Again.
So she's there to unite.
Yeah.
Okay, but...
Mandalorians, man, you got to throw hands.
Yeah, they don't respect anything else.
No.
All right, so you got to throw down.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Axe woes, but catch his hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they throw down, and he doesn't do a bad job by any means.
No, he's a solid dude.
All
well,
right.
he's a worthy leader of these guys. The Night Owls, obviously.
So
Night Owls.
She bested him.
Yes.
Okay. Still no respect.
No, not much, but like they're gonna have to. Like they know they're gonna have to follow Bo-Katan again because she just beat up their leader.
But they're not thrilled about it at the moment, right? And then he's like, yeah, you're the leader, but I mean, this guy who's not even a real Mandalorian,
which is just a shitty thing to say,
is carrying the dark saber, which is a symbol of leadership.
And I don't know if it's canon or not, the piece around the one thing that I keep saying about, like, the original Mandalorians, like the original race of Mandalore that had taken in foundlings, and that's kind of how humans had eventually become what Mandalorian is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's a thing that's canon in this, so maybe they were always kind of human.
Mm-hmm.
But none of them would technically be Mandalorians or really Mandalorians based on the fact that the Mandalorian race
died out,
is not there.
Regardless, she really stands up for him.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is great.
It's good to hear
they're buddies now.
Her like words of encouragement towards him.
Yeah.
Really drilling in that, like, even to say he's more of a Mandalorian than you are.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Not only that, he's earned this now.
That was a weird sound that came out of me. I'm sorry.
You've got a lot of sounds that come out of you sometimes. Yeah. Speaking of sounds.
Yeah.
I think that you yourself
Hmm.
would benefit from walking the ways of a Mandalorian.
Do you?
You don't think so?
You don't want to look at my face? Is that what you're trying to
No,
tell
I
me?
just think that
That's real nice.
I just think that a society
Yeah.
where you don't have to watch or be around anyone where they eat
Hmm.
when they eat,
That's fair.
I think you could benefit from that.
I would enjoy that actually. I think
The fact
that's
that you technically can't even eat with other people.
I love it. You're selling me so hard right now.
I think that you would really benefit from being a Mandalorian.
So I can't stand the sound of people chewing to the point where sometimes if I notice myself chewing,
You'll
I get
gross
upset.
yourself out.
I get upset. I have to put on music
You have to put on music when you eat.
a lot of the time, yeah.
That's
If
fantastic.
the conversation isn't keeping me engaged enough, I'll just put music on.
Like, and
so I
there's
can
certain
hear.
foods where it's unavoidable.
Yeah, like
To a
corn nuts.
Corn
Yes,
nuts is what came to your
misophonia.
mind? What was that one?
Misophonia. Yeah,
Oh, it is. There's
it's
a
a
name
legit
for it.
thing.
It's
Yeah,
yeah. So you got.
I do. I have misophonia.
Oh, so from this point on, you shall now wear a helmet.
Just all the time. Is it a noise canceling helmet? Is that?
It could.
'Cause
Oh, I would assume they're noise canceling.
I would think
So
so.
sleeping might be aside from like a little bit of a cramp. Sleeping might be nice too,
That's fair.
right?
That's fair.
Although if you slept alone, you could take your helmet off.
Teresa, you're moving out.
You're moving out, Teresa.
To be fair, um, thanks for joining us, Monica. So Teresa has a wicked snoring issue, so I often do sleep alone.
As do I, but I don't. It doesn't bother me.
Your snoring issue doesn't bother you? That's good.
Um,
To skip back, we get a solid conversation between Bo-Katan and Din Djarin and the group, and he makes a statement
well,
about.
he makes a far-fetched statement too, though.
It isn't really.
It's
because
it's real, but it's one of those things where you're like, how do I piece this together? Right? So it's like he was late for work. And he had to just piece a few things together to make it believable.
Realistically, though, there was a lot of fans after that episode that had talked about the fact that Bo-Katan is the legitimate owner of the Darksaber after that fight, because he was disarmed, beaten.
Yes.
And she beat the thing that beat him.
Yes. So, true it as it may be,
it did sound a little awkward when he said it.
Not super exciting.
No. Because we were all like, I think a lot of people were expecting like a square up, right?
And they intentionally made it look like Din was stepping out to initiate a battle.
Yeah.
Right? Which it was kind of cool for him to step out like that and then twist it around. But at the same time, would it have not been like just something just out of this world?
Yeah.
For them to fight. And by all means, she would have kicked his ass.
Yeah. Yeah. Or he would have stumbled into victory because he
does that. Because
I think he has the force.
Put a lot of points in luck.
He did. He gets extra rolls.
Right.
He rolls advantage.
But I'm just saying, like, later on.
Yeah.
When she's sitting on her throne.
When she's sitting on the mythosaur.
Okay. And people are like, tell us the story of how you won the Darksaber. And she'll have to make up some story because this is embarrassing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair.
It could have been a little more epic, I think.
I think it could have. It could have been really cool. And this is one of those things where maybe the writing, because of this episode, we didn't get,
a
that
more
intricate, in-depth, part of her getting the Darksaber.
Badass.
Yeah.
Like, does she feel like she really earned it?
Yeah.
At that point. Now, she takes that thing and she owns it.
Oh yeah.
And the stance that she gives and stuff like that is a very powerful stance.
She's
and
dope.
Having them cut to credits on that stance was like brilliantly done.
And it felt like the old cover even.
Well, and
the
that's the thing, and
original.
it was even mentioned by someone that is like there's the cover where she's holding it, she's almost holding it over her head as like in like a pride thing, but in this manner, it's more of a humble,
Yeah.
like understanding pose, right?
Yeah.
So
I loved it. I did like to see her holding the Darksaber as a Star Wars fan.
no, it's a great moment,
piece.
and it's what you need. That's where we need to get to.
And of course, before when I had said, there's some complaints, we're gonna get all the complaints about the lack of Din Djarin and Grogu pieces. And I keep saying, and I will say again, the show is called The Mandalorian.
Yes,
Right?
he is not the only Mandalorian.
Right.
This is a story about the development, and more so now, the development of this new group of Mandalorian that needs to unite.
Yeah.
All right.
Stronger together.
One day, will they take back Mandalore?
Yeah. Hopefully by the end of this
like
season, although that's hard to say because we got 2 episodes.
It's hard to say because there's a little bit of time wasting going on.
Right.
But in the end,
although taking back Mandalore shouldn't be that hard since there's basically
no one there.
Yeah.
But like
Alakites.
what a full circle though at that point, right?
And they need Kryze on the throne to kind of wrap up the whole Mandalorian story piece, I think.
Yeah.
Because when we were introduced to them on their home planet, we had Sabine, Bo-Katan's sister, on the throne. And this is going to be a good step, I think.
Yeah. Let's wrap her up.
Okay.
Because that is the end of the story.
That really is.
Not the end of the story, but the end of this episode. At least.
Great credits as usual.
I
love the credits of the Mandalorian.
It's always nice because they recap it, but they recap it in a very artistic and comic booky way type deal.
Yeah.
And it's always nice. And that's where I actually really noticed the tubes coming down and them drinking out of this thing. I didn't notice it until then.
Yeah.
And then I had to look back and it was
thing milk.
It gives you things from a slightly different perspective, and then you kind of like you can look back on it and go, oh wow, look at that.
Makes you want to watch the episodes again almost.
Yeah,
to try and pick out some of those things.
As far as a banana rating goes for this, it's going to be a tough one. Like I don't want to spend too much time on it.
No, I don't either. I don't know where my banana is.
We don't have any.
Somebody throw me a banana, please.
Physical bananas at the moment. It's not super important. They're probably
it's
all
so important. I need a banana.
All right.
If I can't hold a banana while I give a rating,
I just think you need to calm down about it.
I need to rate a banana while holding it. It's thick. So
I know how to grab a banana.
I'm gonna let you go ahead. Because I feel like
okay, so here's the thing is that I am much more forgiving than you are when it comes to these shows. You being a Star Wars fan much more than I am, and not that I'm not trying, I really enjoy the universe. I'm just very much behind on
and
it.
It's wide.
It's vast.
So vast.
All right. It's thick.
It's a thick universe.
So I am much more forgiving.
Mm-hmm.
And
where were we at?
The last one was a fantastic episode, right? So we've gone from a fantastic episode. So episode.
Fantastic episode.
A fantastic episode. And we're going. We were up in the 9s.
Yes.
Last time.
Yes, we were.
We're gonna bring that right down to probably a 6.
Yeah.
We're gonna go 6 bananas.
That is so much further down than I thought you were going to go.
I am much more forgiving normally. I feel like even since we've been talking, my opinion has changed slightly. So it happens.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's certain aspects that I didn't really think of. I didn't consider the waste of time so much until we started talking.
Yeah.
Which brought my banana rating down a bit.
Like if they were doing a solid like 12 episodes, I would probably
It wouldn't
forgive
be
this
as
more.
as hurtful.
Yeah. But it's soaking up the
So,
story, man.
what do you got to say for yourself?
I'm also dipping down into the 6 range because yeah, that was kind of what I was thinking anyway, and I was expecting you to kind of
Be around a 7 or an 8.
be a 7-8 range,
Yeah.
and you dipped right into
Well, I think you kind of.
6.
I think this was a bit of an intervention.
Yeah.
And you've really put some things into perspective, I think, maybe.
Yeah. And I want you to think about She-Hulk for a moment and the sickening use of useless cameos and wasted time.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm coming from in this episode.
And we
I'm
do
like,
not want this. It's funny because we can use She-Hulk as a guideline for what not to do.
yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
I'm
For us anyway.
And
if you like She-Hulk, you know,
we are definitely going to get a comment saying that we're terrible people for not liking She-Hulk.
If you like She-Hulk, that's your jam, and you do your thing. But I hate
it. You know what? You do you, but I hate it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's close her up. Thank you guys for coming.
If you're new and joining us from Twitch, that's cool.
Yeah. Thank you very much for coming. We're gonna be here.
We're gonna try and
Saturdays.
Another 2 Saturdays doing this.
Doing the Mandalorian, and then we'll be on to our next thing. There's a lot of good stuff coming.
Yes, there is.
I don't know. We might be talking about some movies soon.
Yes.
The Dungeons and Dragons movie I'd like to see. There's the Mario movie out. I don't know if that's something that we want to talk about.
I would talk about it. I've heard some things, and I want to see it, so I know if the things are true.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's one of those ones that has a big fan base and could quickly go awry.
Mm-hmm. But
so, if you let us know what you want us to talk about,
make sure that you like us, follow us, subscribe to us.
We're very needy. We need you to like us.
Comment whatever you like. We try and get back to all the comments that we can, whether it's our producer, Mr. Couch, just the nerdy one.
Share. If you didn't say that,
notify.
Tell your friends.
Woo.
Woohoo! Ha! Oh, ha!
Woohoo!
All right.
Get out of here.
Take care.
See you later. Love you. Bye.
Oh, bye-bye.
Yeah. It was a good show.
I liked it.
Felt good.
I like this show when I cannot lie.
I like a good show. No?
No.
Nobody else? Okay. Well, fuck you guys then. No, fuck you then.